Here's Allie. Back for another Tuesday edition of the Token Female. Good morning, my dear. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Fighting the allergies today, though.
Oh,
So I'm going.
no.
The
Yes,
magical winds of the Windy City has brought us Allie.
yes, and the magical winds have brought us Allie G's as well.
Yes. Yes.
What can we do?
I live
Who is
in,
disembodied voice today? Who's
It is
disembodied voice?
Victor.
that's Victor.
Victor, how you doing, baby?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I will survive. I think it just makes my voice huskier than it usually is.
It
So
happens. It happens.
I lived in Chicago most of my life.
Yes, you
And
have.
when and I dreaded the month of August
Mhm.
because the top part of August, it is broiling hot. And we're
Right.
getting into the bottom part of August, and you know the rest of the story.
Yep.
The temperature decides to drop like a rock, which messes the body up, especially when high school football kicks off at the end of August in Chicago, and I get my first set of games. I wonder why I'm going through more tea and vitamin C and orange juice and fluids than usual because the allergy decides to kick me in the rear end. That's why.
That's right. That's right. And think of it, these poor little, 17-year-olds, 16-year-olds are playing in 97-degree weather. And it's I mean, I can't even. I can't even. My mother told the parochial schools we went to as a kid not to play my brother. Isn't that crazy? Pee-wee football.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you know what? In my years of doing high school football in Chicago, my favorite game was September of 2002, and it was at St. Rita.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there were two ranked teams, both in the Catholic League, St. Rita and Brother Rice, and it was at St. Rita. At the time,
Yeah.
St. Rita had a grass field, natural grass field.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got to the stadium, it was nice and sunny. I had class that day. I had my equipment. I was ready to go. Then the clouds started rolling over the stadium, and I'm going, why am I in trouble? I get to the stadium. The press box, which was as puny as ever, was full to the brim, and I was shoved up on the roof. Then the rains came.
Right on your head.
Right on I got soaked to the bone. A gust of wind at 20 miles an hour took my umbrella up 79th Street.
Oops.
Never to be
My
recovered
God.
again.
Never be seen again.
Never to be seen again.
Damn.
50-yard line was a mud pit and a mosh pit at the same time.
Yep.
I knew they spent time decorating the field because I watched them early in the week. Didn't rain any part of that week. Then Friday came along and that took care of that. And the craziest part about that game, it went 6 overtimes.
6.
I didn't sit down for 3.5 hours. 4
hours.
I finally climbed down off the roof, put my coat on. Some of the parents heard me saying, "You did a great broadcast. Thank you. I'm soaked. I want to go home." And by the time I got home and rode through that tailgate party, that post-game party, there were 4 beers in my pockets.
Somebody's watching out for you.
Yep.
The Catholic Leaguers know. Listen, the Catholic Leaguers know how to celebrate. And I covered the CCL for 12 years.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. I wish Marist had thought of that when I got caught in a thunderstorm covering their soccer games. It was Marist. No, the good girls of Marist. Not in a Diet Coke for me.
You needed to be around Marist when I was there, especially after the Marist Miracles
Aha.
with
I
Gene
remember
Nolan
that.
with Gene Nolan and the bunch, which
Yeah.
for some crazy reason got me on the map, and I didn't have a voice after those 2 games in the playoffs in 2012.
Yep.
Speaking of playoffs, the WNBA is back. Records are being broken. Thank you, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, for that matter. And something we all said at the top of the year just may come to fruition. The Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky just may be heading for a playoff clash. These two,
Right.
especially now with Caitlin Clark having her legs under her, same with Angel Reese, these 2 teams mean business.
We've been saying that. We've been
You
saying that in college. Ever since college, we've been saying that.
Yeah, and they will. Right now, they're at the 7 and 8 positions. The Indiana Fever at 13 and 15, getting close to that 500 record, which really puts them in a solid position. They are at number 7 right now on the playoff list, and the Chicago Sky is hanging on by a thread to the 8th position, the 8th and last position on the playoff list. The only team that has actually clinched a playoff spot this time around is the New York Liberty at 23 and 4. They are, best record in the WNBA. No one will deny them. However, back to your point, Brian, I have greater hopes and higher expectations for the Indiana Fever, unfortunately, than I do for the Chicago Sky this year, because okay, first of all, you can't get 232 assists on the season. I mean, that is a record-breaking number by Caitlin Clark this year. Did somebody burp? It's
No. I said,
It's like, okay. This was a record set back in 1998 by Tisha Penicheiro. She only had 224 on a I think it was a 30-game season at that point, something like that. The year after the WNBA was founded, 224 the full season. Now Caitlin Clark has 232 assists with more than a month left in the season. Think about it. This is amazing. Okay. Also, Caitlin Clark averaging 23.7 points on 47% shooting from the field, 11.7 assists, and has scored at least 20 points in 5 of the last 6 games. Okay, this is a woman who is entrenching herself in the WNBA. She is going to carry that team to the playoffs. She could move up a couple notches depending on what's going to happen over the next month. I can't imagine that they are not going to have a higher position than 7th. I'm going to say this now. They're going to be at number 5 in 2 weeks.
Yep.
I'm thinking.
And now with we'll say it again, with Indiana getting their legs under them after the month-long break, having some time together, and Caitlin Clark putting time in the weight room, her court vision has gotten better. Some of the beautiful assists that she had this past weekend, and now the shooting percentage is starting to climb up there. They're shooting about 41% from the field as a team, and
47%.
Yep,
for Caitlin, 47.
As a team.
A rising tide lifts all boats.
Yep.
Remember that. Yeah, just like Michael Jordan with the Chicago Bulls. This is if you look at it's almost a mirror image, and
it kind of is.
It's so there now I've got to say I love my Chicago Sky. I have loved my Chicago Sky for all the years of its existence. Yeah, and without Angel Reese, they would be so much worse.
Hey, look, I am not one to argue. Allie and I have seen the best and the worst of the Sky since its inception. Allie and I covered the team together, brother and sister, covered the team together the first year they went to the WNBA Finals, which was 2014.
Right.
And that was a scramble drill in and of itself when they had to change arenas due to a scheduling conflict at the Rosemont Horizon, but they had to play it at UIC Pavilion. We've seen the best and the worst. If Angel was not a part of this team, they would be languishing. I mean this, languishing in last place.
Yes, and it would. The thing that you have to remember is that they no longer have their chief scorer, Marina Mabry, because she's with the Connecticut Sun now. All the Chicago Sky, it just appears, only wanted that trade for the picks. The picks for next season. They didn't really care. That told me they didn't really buy into this season. They wanted a season of a, they just wanted to coast along. If they made the playoffs, great. If they didn't want to make the playoffs, great. It's all that, let's build the team through picks. Let's build the team through trading, but at the same time, you've got to put something out on the court that's worth the ticket price.
Right.
They are doing that. I was sick on Sunday with the 68-86 loss to Phoenix. And that said, Angel Reese has had a career game and 20 points and and another double. It was ridiculous. She's putting everything out there, everything. And it's almost a travesty that the team around her cannot build upon her vigor, her enthusiasm. Maybe Kennedy Carter, who had missed the game on Friday night here, was. I wonder that there were some lingering issues with her illness that caused her to be.
I'm wondering that also with Kennedy Carter, and they need Kennedy Carter bad, especially now with Maine on. And I want to bring back something that you said, which hits home for me. They don't want to build on this team this year, and I think the upper management purposely is not realizing, hey, we're in a playoff spot. We can nab one of the first 5 seeds. Because if you're at 6, 7, and 8, it's going to be a dogfight getting out of that because you're on the road for most of the time. 1 through 5, you can sneak in a first round win. It just depends on your opponent and depends on where you play. Now, with Mabry being a part of the Connecticut Sun, they bolster their lineup. They get stronger, and the Chicago Sky are getting weaker at the exact position that they need, which Mabry filled, which was say it with me, folks, a shooting guard.
Yeah. Now, who are they going to rely on? Are they going to get it? It used to be give it to Jordan. Now give it to Angel Reese. Okay, I can see a team that gets the Barbie and Ken show. The Shy Barbie, Angel Reese, for the uninformed. Angel Reese and Kennedy Carter are a great shooting combination. They do well, but it's I have to question the management here. I have to question Michael Alter. I have to question, Spoon. Unfortunately, doesn't have that kind of clout where she's also the general manager.
Right.
That's in
Right.
somebody else's
Right.
hands. That's the first time that's been the case. James
Mhm.
Wade had total control over the product because he was
Which
also the
got them a
general manager.
championship 3 years ago. Which got
Yes.
them a championship.
Yeah. Now, it doesn't matter if who's got the control as long as they're on the same page and want the same things.
Right.
But what they're doing right now is they are putting Coach Spoon in an incredibly tentative and sad position.
Mhm.
And all she can say week after week, every press conference, is they're showing the signs of improvement that we want them to. That's
Mhm.
it. Play 40 minutes of basketball, get it done. Okay,
Yep.
all of the teams can play 40 minutes of basketball. They have to. But
Right.
in order to play it well, you've got to have that shooting guard, as you were saying. You've got, and there's just not enough there. Mariah Jefferson brings nothing to the team. Nothing. I'm sorry to say that. I love you, Mariah, but
But let's be real.
Call spade a spade.
There is no spark whatsoever with
yeah.
Jefferson being there. None.
No.
There is just no lift. There's just no lift to this offense. You can make trades and moves no matter which team you follow or which league, and a team can become either instant offense or instant defense.
Mm-hmm.
This trade they made sending Mabry packing, nothing. I'm seeing nothing.
No. It's just like any of the bad Cubs, the trades the Cubs used to make. I Little Rock, Little Rock. I just,
What's bad? Lou Brock got his 3,000 hit against the Cubs in 1979. Okay, that's bad.
I give you a worse one. Milton Bradley. The Milton
Oh
Bradley.
Lord.
I'll give you that. I will give you that.
See, Lou Brock gets even after being traded from the Cubs by getting his 3,000 hit against the Cubs. Like I said, in 1979, we've seen, all of us as journalists and as fans have seen rotten trades.
Yeah.
Rotten.
Okay,
Okay?
this one ranks right up there.
Yep.
Trading Marina Mabry. This is ridiculous, and the Sky should know better. Shame on the Sky
Yeah,
for
Agree.
what they just did. I say there's still time. Trade deadline isn't until August 31st.
Mhm.
Make a decision.
They
There's
got time. They
they
know
got
what
the
they
time.
need. There's
They
another
have-
thing that they need: depth.
Yes.
Look at
They
the
have
top
no
four. Look at the top four, top five teams. And Indiana's waiting in the wings to make a move.
Mhm.
They're doing the smart thing. They're keeping silent. But I
Yeah.
detect a move from them to bolster their lineup and have them leapfrog into one of the top four seeds. Because remember, now they've beaten Phoenix twice in a month.
Mhm. Yeah.
Once in Arizona before the break, and now once after the break. They do own a victory over the New York Liberty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and by all means, they're like we said, the star was rising before, it'll rise again, and like I said, fifth, they're gonna notch up those fifth position in the playoffs. They're going to clinch in another month, say, and the Indiana Fever will be on the rise.
Yep.
There's just no way that they're not going to make a big run.
They may. I don't want to put this. Yeah, I do. I want to put. I'll put this out there. There may be a chance for them, given the fact that they're going to have a lot of rest in between their upcoming games because they have a week off. They played Sunday. They don't play again until Saturday. There's a chance. There's a chance they just may run the table.
Yeah.
They're getting stronger as the season goes on.
Yep. So we'll see. Well, the Sky's got another game Friday, August 23rd, the day after my birthday. So
Happy early birthday.
Yep. Thank you very much. Thank you. We won't talk about my age, but a celebration.
I want to get hurt. We're gonna keep it quiet.
Yep. Allie, thank you so much. Yeah, honey.
Allie, you see this?
Yeah.
Okay. I have fun with my age. Okay. My kids tease me. Jeez. My kids tease me.
They call you an old man? Do they call you an old man? Yep.
My son, my daughters, and hey, old man, hey, and we're all just laughing out loud. I love them dearly. My wife teases me about my age, and we're the same age.
Yeah.
Jody and I are the same age, and yet I'll be in the kitchen cooking something, and she'll walk by and she'll go, "Hey, old man," and I'm just leaning over the sink laughing. Okay. But after kicking cancer in the ass, I'm glad to be getting old. Okay.
Exactly. Actually, Lev tells me all the time, imagine what would happen if you weren't older. Imagine what would happen then. Who would I have? You know, I said, you're right, baby. You're right. You're right. So I do embrace longevity. I do embrace longevity with joy. My mother is 97. She embraces her longevity with joy. By the way, I was a very late baby. I just wanted to mention that. My mother was a career woman, didn't have me until a late age. So it was 97 years old she is now, and still going real strong. And I'm very proud of her. She is proud of me for doing this. So I thanked her every year. I thank her for the 20 minutes of labor she went through with me, and it was great. But let's get back to sports, shall we?
Let's get back to this. A soccer legend gets her due. Brianna Scurry into the U.S. Soccer Hall of Fame. Well deserved.
And believe it or not, she is making history as the first Black female player and goalkeeper to be elected to the United States Soccer Federation National Hall of Fame.
Wonderful. I love it.
And comes way late as far as I'm concerned. But but I'm glad it's happening. Who can forget 1999, that save in the World Cup? Sending it to the PKs, and that's where it all started for U.S. soccer in the United States. Some people would say it was Brandi Chastain's pulling her shirt off, but
if it was not for Brianna Scurry making that save and sending it to penalty kicks, that's a story that wouldn't have been told. In the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. So you're outside Los Angeles. There's your Hollywood ending right there. And Brianna Scurry makes the save that basically rescues the U.S. team, because that was a dogfight.
It was
a dogfight.
It absolutely was. It was unbelievable. And what's more, she was in 3 World Cups. She had She earned 3 World Cups, 2 Olympic gold medals, and now she's an advocate for concussion awareness. Taking as many headers as she did, taking, leaping, diving. There's,
Mhm.
I mean, there are more injuries through soccer than in almost any other sport except for football.
Yes.
American football I'm talking about. But when you have to realize what that does to the inside of your head. And
Mhm.
so Brianna Scurry, uh, kudos for all that she has done for the game. And I actually had the honor of meeting her back in 2009 at the 10th anniversary of the Women's World Cup. That was the first season of Chicago Red Stars soccer.
Mhm.
Lovely woman, did everything she could for the sport, posed with all of the little girls who were out there that day, all of the soccer teams in the area, which she helped influence, who were in the audience that day. It was a little rainy, as I'm recalling, and
Mhm.
she has influenced a generation of soccer players. I can't believe that 2009 was 15 years ago.
Right.
Look at all that soccer has accomplished since then. The league stable. You've got a ton of new role models as a result of that. Look at she was one who could influence somebody like a Mallory Swanson
Mhm.
the Alessa Nair, who came up and has been so amazing for the women's soccer team just recently in the Olympics. And, none of that would have happened without Brianna Scurry.
True. None of
Yes.
that.
So,
Speaking of Speaking of
go ahead.
soccer, the Chicago Red Stars and Riot Fest strike a deal for SeatGeek Stadium on September 21st, which is a
Yeah.
Saturday. I might
Yeah.
be I might be up there on that Saturday doing the Chicago Football Classic at
Oh,
Soldier Field, so may have
oh,
to pop by for a visit.
absolutely. There's going to be a riot in town, baby. It's now to go back and recap what happened there. Um, uh, SeatGeek Stadium was supposed to be the site of Riot Fest,
Hmm.
and because Douglas Park didn't really want to host all the crazy kids who came to Riot Fest every
Right.
year at Douglas Park. Well, um, that uh, that I think it was it was September 21st versus the San Diego Wave. The Red Stars had that spot at SeatGeek Stadium, and that kicked them out of their own stadium in
Oh boy.
Bridgeview.
Oh boy.
So, yes, and so rightly so, the management of the Chicago's Red Stars filed a complaint
Hmm.
and ultimately the Riot Fest organizers um, agreed to partner instead with the Red Stars. And
Good.
so now what they're doing is they are going to be first of all, they're back in Douglas Park for that September 21st date. As for the rest of that weekend, let the residents fall where they may on it. And for Douglas Park, sorry guys.
Poor Douglas
And
Park. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed.
however, however, the Red Stars, as part of their marketing agreement, will be having a booth at Riot Fest, and they're also going to raise awareness of the organization, which will provide them a little audience in maybe in a neighborhood in a Chicago community that hasn't been there. Also, that'll be great for the league as Riot Fest draws nationally and internationally. So with their big music fest. So I think that'll be very good. Now, on Sunday, November 3rd, can you believe that far out? The Red Stars are hosting a Riot Fest night. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So there's going to be merch. There's going to be special celebrations. Who knows? They might even get an artist or two. We don't know that yet.
They just might. They just might.
Yeah, so it'll be Riot Fest night, November 3rd. Bring your coats. So they turned an extraordinary negative into an extraordinary positive and a win-win for both sides. For both the Riot Fest organizers, they get a whole new audience of soccer enthusiasts, and the Red Stars get a whole bunch of teeny boppers and young adults who may not have heard of the Red Stars yet. So win-win. Such a great marketing. It was such a good marketing move. So happy to know that.
One more note before we get out of here. Becky Hammon has responded to Derica Hamby's allegations. And I'll give Allie the floor for that one, because this is going to be quite explosive.
It will. Okay. Derica Hamby used to be a member of the Las Vegas Aces. Mm-hmm. She has brought suit in court. She didn't go through the Players Association. She didn't go through any well-known form of retribution for a club that we felt wrong. Basically alleging that the Aces mistreated her because of her pregnancy and didn't follow through with certain things that she was supposed to get. Becky Hammond says that in a quarter century of participating in the WNBA and the NBA, remember that she was an assistant with the San Antonio Spurs, the first woman hired by an NBA team to do that. There's never been a complaint against her. There's never been an issue with her, and technically she still didn't have an issue. Now, according to Hammond, at the time, this was in 2023 that all this was happening. Yeah. Derica was traded for strategic reasons for Candace Parker, who, as you know, vamoosed from the Chicago Sky after the championship year, essentially. And Derica Hamby was traded, as she said, they'd get 3 bodies for her 1 contract. And Candace Parker, 2 other players. However, the WNBA did suspend Becky Hammon at that time for 2 games in 2023 without pay because there were issues. Okay, now she says she also defended herself against the allegations of Derica Hamby. She said that they gave her over the top care and bullying. No, of course not. No bullying of Derica. We love Derica. We gave Derica time off when she needed it because of her pregnancy. She said that they gave her special benefits, including private school for her other kid, as
Mhm.
well as um, extra time off, and also housing for her family during away games. So, this is going to be a very long and drawn out process,
Mhm.
uh, just as long as my explanation. But it was but the thing is that it's also precedent setting.
Mhm.
It
It's
is.
and it is going to become the standard for how other player pregnancies may be treated. Um,
Mhm.
Derica Hamby is saying that she lost prestige and brand value and things like that due to this trade, and
Right.
she felt that they would that it was humiliating to her to be traded the way she was. So we're going to be watching this very carefully to
Oh, yeah.
see how the courts play it out. There's not yet a trial date or anything like that, but
Mhm.
they're restricted on what they can say. But anytime there's news, I will report it, and it'll be interesting to see how things go.
It will be
So
indeed.
anyway, yes,
Oh, boy.
but
Oh, boy.
there we
This
go.
is
Are you there?
this is gonna be I'm here. I
Oh,
think that's our cue to get out of here,
lost
so
your thing for a sec.
let me just go
Are
ahead and
you
wrap up.
okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. We've been having technical difficulties for a while, and I think I'm just gonna have to take my studio apart and get everything put back together. And we're running out of time because I'm getting a signal as it is. But that's Allison Moran, one of my dearest friends, my sister in broadcasting, joining us here as she does every Tuesday to close things out. Thank you very, very much, my dear. I love you. We'll do it again next Tuesday.
Love you too. Sounds great. Have a better rest of the day.
Thank you.